Liverpool's biggest risk this season isn't tactics or results or even form, it's silence, and especially at centre-back. Because if Ibrahima Konaté leaves and Joe Gomez follows, then all of a sudden Liverpool aren't just thin, they actually leave a void in that space. And that puts everything, and especially the season and Champions League, at risk. Now let's put the emotion aside for a second and just deal with the facts that's in front of us, okay? And when we have a look at the current situation, we see that Liverpool are very, very quiet in terms of the transfer market. Now, this just could be a case of Liverpool holding its hand like they love doing. They don't like to show what's happening behind the scenes. Or it could actually be a matter of Liverpool keeping tight-lipped because they aren't wanting to do anything in this transfer window. But that causes a major risk because we haven't sorted out Ibrahima Konaté. Joe Gomez looks likely to leave. Andy Robertson might also want to leave. Look, he wants minutes, which is very fair, and we'll get to that in a second. But it makes Liverpool, the remainder of the season, very, very risky. Because if things continue this way and we don't bring in new talent, all of a sudden, it makes it very risky for you going forward to sign new talent at the end of the season. Now, let's have a look quickly at the players that I've been speaking about. With Ibrahima Konaté, you know that he's been one of the stalwarts at the back. He's been very solid. Maybe there's a little bit that he could do more this season, but generally speaking, very solid at the back, keeps that defensive line very disciplined with Virgil van Dijk, of course, and that is something that you want to see. A player who takes control at the back, can play out from the back, manage the game when defense is needed. Very, very important. Now, the cover for Ibrahima Konaté and for Virgil van Dijk is Joe Gomez. And let's not forget that he's our longest serving player in the squad at the moment. I think over 10 years now, Joe Gomez has been at Liverpool. Very injury prone, so he hasn't always been able to play. But when he is fit, he's now finding himself in a position where he's actually needing to fight to play a little bit more football. Now, we know that Joe Gomez was approached in, I think, not the beginning of this season, but at the end of last season. And there was an opportunity for him to leave, but he decided to stay. Now, if you lose someone like that, you don't just lose a player. You lose his experience, you lose, valuable insights into the Liverpool culture. And I think a lot of the young players can rely on that and lean on that, and they're going to need that. But you lose someone solid out of the squad. And if we lose Ibrahima Konaté as well, then it's not a matter of, rotation is fine, because we are sitting without Leone for the rest of the season. And that makes it very, very risky for Liverpool. And not bringing in fresh talent, not bringing in someone new, puts Liverpool at risk at the back. And it leaves a lot of uncertainty in the team, and it looks like it's poorly managed. Now, the other player is, of course, Andy Robertson. And we know that Andy Robertson has said that, look, he was approached before, and there is a chance that he might want to go. His contract comes to an end, but his age also plays into that factor. But he's still saying his heart is with Liverpool. He still is able to offer his services. And here's the thing that I always focus on. He's our vice captain, having to fight for a place in the team. Now, great that we've got Milos Kerkez there. Great new talent, but he is not at the level of captaincy. He himself is still adjusting to Liverpool, the Liverpool way of doing things and the Liverpool way of playing, and still needs to be captained and groomed in this team to be a solid enough player like we have seen from Andy Robertson in the past. Now, yes, another player where there is much, wanting from. He could do a little better. But at least if we look at his track record, we know that this is someone you can really, really rely on. And there is a risk of losing Andy Robertson as well. So now, just let's recap. If Robertson goes, Joe Gomez goes, Ibrahima Konaté goes, and there's a chance that Leone might not be back. Hopefully he'll be back next season. I trust he will. And then Connor Bradley, who's also out for the rest of the season. that leaves Liverpool spread very thin. Now, I know we've got third options, and typically Gomez used to cover for that at left wing, centre back, and at left back, centre back, and right back. But other than that, we're going to have to go to our younger talent, some of the youth, maybe some of the under 21s to come in and cover those spots. That would be the immediate go-to if we don't get new signings. And the thing is, it makes it very, very risky. And why I've mentioned Champions League is because imagine a scenario where Liverpool does not achieve Champions League football this season and we lose those players. How hard is it going to be to attract new talent? It's going to be extremely hard. And that is something that we just can't afford at the moment. Now, I heard a very interesting question, and I think it's worth talking about. And you can let me know in the comments what your thoughts are on this. But someone had said, could it be that the higher-ups at Liverpool, and I'm speaking about the board now, are reluctant to invest money in players under Arne Slot because they might be wanting to get rid of Arne Slot by the end of this season. So allowing him now to go and acquire new talent, bringing them into the team, could mean that a new manager now comes in and all of a sudden you're sitting with this investment from the previous season that the new manager might not want to use and might not fit into the system of a new manager. Now, I don't know whether that's true or not, but it definitely sounds plausible. I'm just unsure about it. That's why I'm asking. Let me know in the comments what your thoughts are on that. But one thing I can say, something needs to be done, and silence is going to be a massive, massive hurdle for Liverpool in attracting talent. And they need to do something very, very quickly. Things need to turn around. And like I said previously, Liverpool still have a chance to go and contest, but they need to be bold. They need to be brave. None of this scared to do things, scared to rotate the squad, playing the same type of player. You know, that whole definition of insanity. Keep doing the same thing, expecting different results. No, we've got to be bold. We've got to be brave. We've got to rotate the squad. If we see that Gakpo, for example, is not effective enough, put in a different player. Give Rio the minutes that he wants and deserves. Bring Chiesa on as a super sub. Give him the minutes that he deserves. And I think sometimes some of these defensive rotations can evolve around some of the talent that we have. If fit, Wataru Endo, for example, can go in full in at the back. He's fantastic as a defensive midfielder. Why not use him at that spaces at the back and leave the midfielders where they are? Those are some of the things that I think needs to be concentrated on. Because if this mess gets out of hand, I tell you now, no Champions League means no future talent. Let me know in the comments, what would you do? Would you go and sign someone? Would you go and fight for a player like a Mark Guéhi? I don't even know what the situation around that is. It's all talk about Guéhi and City at the moment. What would you do if you were in Arne Slot's position? Would you go and fight to get new talent, or would you rotate from the players, the pool of players that you already have? I don't know what to make of all of this. It is crazy. It is insane. And yeah, it's just on my mind ahead of that Burnley game. Let me know in the comments. If you haven't yet, smash the like on this video. Subscribe. We are on our way to 100 subscribers by the end of January. And you and I, together, we can do that. Simply because you'll never walk alone.